Hello, my name is Kemboy, and this is According to Kemboy. Welcome to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome and feel free to subscribe to the channel, support the channel by subscribing. And I hope this video brings some value to you, okay? And also, if you like the video, leave a like, okay? And today we're discussing farming opportunities in African countries. You see, in African countries, there is a lot of unemployment, yeah, especially among the youth. And there's something that I've noticed. You find that most African countries are not even self-sustainable in terms of food production, despite the fact that Africa is located along the equator, and most African countries have that favorable climate conditions that is very useful in terms of crop production, right? And I think these are just opportunities that we, the African youth, can harness, right? And in most of this video, I'm going to reference Kenya as an example because I come from Kenya and I see it every day, right? So let's see at the first deficiency in terms of food production. That is rice deficiency. Yeah, you see, in Kenya, Kenyans consume annually about 1 million metric tons of rice, right? Annually, but only 20% of that, yeah, is only produced locally. That means that 80%, sorry, 80% of that is imported. It produced in other countries and imported to Kenya, right? You see, that means that this is a gap. It's an opportunity that if we, the Kenyan youth, just get some proper funding, we can practice this and we can be able to sell this locally and stop the importation. Because importing means that the jobs are going to the other country where the crops are coming from. Definitely. It means that we're creating employment abroad instead of locally for our people here. Yeah. And I think this is one of the crops that we can, venture in and produce this particular crop, and we can create employment here for us here. But you see, there is one problem with us Africans, the youth mostly. You see, farming is normally seen as ventures for the poor, right? We see it as an investment opportunity, but not something that we need to do. You find that us, we're so fixated with having the white collar jobs, and we overlook farming. But I think with farming, there's a lot of money in the ground. Yeah, the other time I heard the Pluto say that there's a lot of money in the ground. Things like farming, I think, can create a lot of jobs for us, and we can make money and probably be employed. Yeah, be self-employed in that manner, right? And then another one is wheat deficiency. Yeah, you see, Kenya imports about 86% of its annual wheat consumption. Yeah, and only 14% of it is produced locally here. That means that the farmers here, in terms of wheat production, are very low, are very few. Sorry, there are very few farmers producing wheat. So, but we are very busy importing wheat. I remember, you see, when Russia-Ukraine war started, I think it was close a few years back, 3 years, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So the prices of things were skyrocketing because, especially wheat, because we were doing a lot of importation from Ukraine, to be specific. Yeah. And so when when war started, and so there was the importation, the importation logistics were interrupted. Yeah. And so did you find that the wheat, the grains were not coming in as it used to, right? You find that the prices of wheat skyrocketed. And you find that as the Kenya, for example, we were affected. Yeah, we were affected so much as a result of that, war. And this is a war that is in a different continent. It's war that's in Europe. Yeah, but somehow we are able to produce wheat here, but we don't produce enough. Yeah, but we're very busy importing. Yeah, so we find that all the jobs are going there, but we the Kenyan people are left consuming. Yeah, and wheat is a very key and very important crop in Kenya, because I don't think there is any Kenyan family that at some point have never consumed wheat, wheat products. Yeah, speak of bread, I think at least 50% of Kenyan homesteads consume wheat every morning. Yeah, or wheat product. Yeah. Let's say bread, for example. Yeah, a lot of people eat bread in the morning every day. So production of wheat means there'll always be market. Yeah. So if Kenya could just probably impose tariffs on imported wheat and promote the production of wheat locally, I think we could be far. A lot of jobs could be created here, and probably we could avoid the unemployment crisis among its youth. You know, and then another deficiency is oil products. Yeah, edible oil to be specific. You see, 90% of Kenyan edible oil is imported. Yeah, it's not produced in Kenya. And you know what? Sunflower can grow here in the country. It can grow here. Yeah, a lot of things can grow here because we have the most favorable climatic conditions compared to some parts of the world, right? But somehow we don't really grow, and I think it's just an opportunity that some of us can get into. Yeah, instead of importing everything. And another thing is white sugar. White sugar. I know the western part of Kenya is has measured a lot in this, right? You find that 50% of Kenyan sugar is imported, yeah, and 50% is produced locally. Thanks to the our Western brothers, yeah, they're the ones who've taken control of this production of white sugar, yeah. But still, we still need to do a lot, yeah. I remember, I think a few years back, most of the sugar producing companies, sugar refinery, sugar production, yeah, companies were shut down, probably as a result of over importation. You see, a lot of middlemen were importing sugar from outside the country, and so it was directly in competition with the ones produced locally. And as a result of that, you find that if there is no market and the imported cheap sugar is taking over the current market, that means that those that are produced locally cannot be purchased, and as a result of that, the companies ends up shutting down, right? You find, and as a result of that, if the companies don't receive money, that means that they cannot purchase sugarcane from the farmers. Hence, you find that the farmers are discouraged, so they stop farming sugar in the process. Yeah, but you find that there is still a gap here. We need to produce a lot of it locally here, so that we can be self-sustainable. Yeah, I remember during COVID, you find that when crisis like that comes in, you find that we the Africans we suffer a lot. Yeah, because now we don't have some food security. Yeah, I remember I think in 2022 there were a lot of prices skyrocketing in the country because there was insufficient food production. We were used to importation, but and now that COVID was here, then COVID was there, so there was disruption in terms of supply chains, right, across the world. And so we, the Kenyans, were the one who were paying the prices. And I remember at some point, government had to subsidize oil, 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 so that things cannot go extreme. Yeah. And Ruto government, when Ruto came to power, you find that he removed the subsidies, and as a result of that, things went up, in terms of prices. Although now it's come down because somehow the government had to focus on production of food, maize production, because maize is one of the stable products, stable food in the country, right? And so I think those are just some of the opportunities when it comes to farming that I can see, and that I can see there is huge gap in terms of um, more than 50% of them being imported, right? So if as the youth can just tap into this opportunity, I think we can be able to create a lot of job opportunities. Yeah, and it, these are just a few of them. Okay, there are a lot of opportunities out there that anyone can notice and get into. Right. Speak of eggs, I think I remember back I heard that Kenya was importing eggs from South Africa. Can you believe that we were importing eggs from South Africa instead of, but we can produce eggs here. We can farm chicken here and produce eggs here. So you find that a lot of you find that the country of 50 million people is not self-sustainable. Yet we have all the conditions favorable for us, right? I think it's something that we need to think about. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment section, and of course, leave a like on the video if you like the video. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'll appreciate your support. Thank you. See you in the next one. Bye.